the story of little Ting Moi, a girl from Chinatown. Oh, what happiness and joy she found. Ting Moi, Ting Moi, found happiness in Chinatown. She came to America from a far-off land, and this is how it all began.
When little Ting Moi arrived in San Francisco, she was completely captivated by all the hustle and bustle. But she still missed Hong Kong very much. She remembered all the fun she'd had during the many holiday celebrations there, with the fireworks, parades, giant paper dragons, animal floats, and wonderful rice cookies and almond candies. But most of all, she missed her many playmates there. One day, Mama Moi sent little Ting to the grocery store for some eggs. When she arrived, she overheard Mrs. Brown arguing with the grocer.
But you promised me white eggs, and Easter will soon be here.
What's the difference? White or brown eggs? Eggs are eggs are eggs.
Little you know about Easter eggs. They have to be white or they won't take the colors.
Little Ting was puzzled. Why on earth would someone want to color eggs? Oh, she could understand burying eggs to age them. But coloring eggs, that sounded silly.
Pardon me, ma'am. Why would you want to color eggs? And who is this Easter you say is coming?
Not who, little girl. Easter is a day, a very special day. And I don't color the eggs. The Easter Bunny does. Haven't you ever heard of the Easter Bunny?
The Easter Bunny? Who is he and what does he do?
Every year at about this time, in a land so far away, you will find the Easter Bunny working night and day.
What's he doing?
He is busy coloring eggs, red and yellow, green and blue. Very special Easter eggs for boys and girls like you.
Like me?
Of course. And when he is sure that he has eggs of every kind, he goes out and hides them all for girls and boys to find.
Really?
That's right. So if you believe in him and you let him know you do, you won't get a warning. But on Easter morning, you'll find the Easter Bunny has left an Easter basket for you.
Oh, how wonderful! Do you think the Easter Bunny will hide some pretty eggs for me to find?
I'm sure he will. But you have to be especially good. And it might be wise to let your mummy know that you want him to visit you.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Brown. I will. Oh, I almost forgot my eggs. Goodbye, Mrs. Brown. Goodbye, Mr. Grocer.
Goodbye,
Goodbye, Ting.
Bye, little Ting.
Bye, little Ting.
And a happy Easter.
Ting Moi was so excited when she arrived at home, she almost dropped the eggs.
Mother, may I invite the Easter Bunny to hide some eggs? Mrs. Brown said he would. He's coming on Easter, and I know... Not so fast, child of my heart. Who is Mrs. Brown, and what Easter Bunny?
Ting Moi told her mother all about the Easter Bunny, the colored eggs, and the coming holiday. Then she told her what Mrs. Brown had promised.
Well, Ting, I'll talk to your father, and we'll see what he says.
Ting was delighted. She knew her father loved her very much and would do almost anything to make his little daughter happy. That night, after supper, Mrs. Moi called Ting.
It's bedtime, dear. Kiss your father good night and go to bed. I'll be right there to tuck you in. You won't forget to ask Daddy, will you? No, I won't forget. Now off with you. It's getting late.
Little Ting kissed her father good night and went to bed. Then Mrs. Moy came in, tucked the covers around her, and gave her a big kiss.
Good night, my little princess, and pleasant dreams. Good night, Mommy, and thank you for you-know-what.
When Mrs. Moy had left, Ting Moy took her little statue of the Chinese god of good fortune and quietly made a wish.
Little god of fortune, make my wish come true. Little god of fortune, please do. When you weave your magic, this I beg of you. Don't send me toys or money to make my wish come true. Just the Easter bunny will do.
Soon she was fast asleep. Early next morning, Mrs. Moy woke little Ting and told her,
I spoke to your father, and he said he was sure the Easter Bunny had never visited Chinatown before, but he believes that when he tells him what a sweet and good daughter you are, he'll make a special trip this Easter.
Ting Moy was so pleased, she cried with joy.
Thank you, God of fortune. Thank you, Mommy, too. And thank you, Daddy, most of all, for making my Easter wish come true.
Mrs. Moy fixed her breakfast, and after they had eaten, she told Ting to go and spend the morning at her cousin's house. When little Ting had gone, Mrs. Moy quickly went to the grocery store to buy some white eggs. After all, even the Easter Bunny needs a little help once in a while. Naturally, when Ting Moy told her little cousins about the Easter Bunny, they told all their friends, who in turn told all their friends. And that afternoon, every mother in Chinatown bought a box of white eggs. Easter morning, Ting Moy was up, washed and dressed even before the rooster crowed good morning. Mrs. Moy knew it was useless to try and give her breakfast then, so she and Mr. Moy told Ting to go ahead and look for her Easter eggs in the tiny garden back of their house. Sure enough, the Easter Bunny had been there and hidden lots of beautiful colored eggs for Ting Moy. She gathered them all up and ran into the house.
Mommy and Daddy, look, he did come, he did. Oh, thank you, little god of good fortune. But most of all, thank you, Mommy and Daddy, for making this the happiest day I've ever known.
Honorable friends and neighbors, we hope that you enjoyed our happy little story of Ting Moy. Ting Moy, Ting Moy. The Easter Bunny came to Chinatown, bringing happiness and joy.